With Duel Links introducing players to Rush Duels for the first time, there are some mistakes I'm seeing people make over and over again, even at the King of Games rank. The first one is playing the entire hand going first. One of the key differences in Rush Duels is the ability to draw until you have 5 cards in hand at the start of each turn. People hear this and immediately summon out whatever they happen to draw, ending on boards like 7-Sword Magician and Witch. However, this is wrong. Now, all your opponent has to do is summon Dragias, and you've not only taken 1300 damage, but you've given up one of your best counters for no reason. Instead, just set monsters face down and pass. By keeping your high level monsters in hand, you'll protect your life points and guarantee you have a response to your opponent next turn. Number 2 is running too many spell and trap cards. Card advantage is a bit less important when you're constantly refilling your hand, but Darkness Approaches is going to completely kill your momentum and leave you without the resources you need to establish a board on any turn where you use it. Additionally, running 3 copies of cards like Pierce and Phantom Bind are going to make you more likely to brick and leave you with significantly weaker end boards. If you're only summoning 1 or 2 monsters per turn, the opponent is going to OTK you. It doesn't help that the current lineup of spells and traps are particularly weak. We will get more powerful spells over time, but to this day, the best ones tend to either draw cards or summon monsters. Number 3 is Overextending. Clearing the opponent's board is great, but if your life points are low, it may not be the right play. If you have less than 2,000 life remaining, summoning a 1500 monster puts you in range of the opponent's 7-Sword Magician. I've won multiple games because the opponent chose to get greedy instead of setting monsters. This blindness to overextended monsters also goes the other way, with opponents often missing lethal because they're more concerned about having their boss monster take out my perceived threats. Number 4 is something that applies to any digital card game, and that's what I call glowing card syndrome. Just because you can activate a card doesn't mean you should. Mystic Dealer is helpful for cycling through your deck, but if you already have all the cards you need to build your board, activating Dealer has a high chance of making your hand actively worse. Similarly, Recovery Force is a card that is often better to set rather than immediately activating. This gives you access to a 6-card hand on your next turn, an important benchmark for summoning 2 high-level monsters. The worst case of glowing card syndrome I've seen is from dragon players, who keep using Dragonic Pressure when they have no need to. One opponent even had lethal on board, but still used the card, leading to me winning on my next turn. Number 5, and it wouldn't be a Yu-Gi-Oh video without it, not reading the cards. I've seen players summon out weak monsters in attack mode, while Yami Ruler is preventing them from being tributed. Players often forget about the restrictions on Sports Dragon Slugger and Pitcher. And I've seen Fire Golem used on my attack position monsters more than a single-digit amount of times. Keep all of this in mind, and you'll be well on your way to being a better Rush Duelist.